Welcome student. Today's our lecture topic is Introduction to Vata Dosha. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the concept of the three dosha, in which we defined the term dosha as dosha is one of the functional biological entity of our body, which is derived from the Panch Mahabhuta. But on the basis of the dominancy of any of the Panch Mahabhuta, it possesses specific attributes or guna. So on the basis of that attribute, it executes the specific function accordingly. Vata in it is dosha in it is normal status is responsible for the maintaining the homeostasis. In contrary, if it is vitiated or if it is abnormal in status, it responsible for the creating the different pathology in our body. So, what is the specific property of or what is the specific character of being any substance called as a dosha? Normally, the specific characteristic property of the dosha is to it is it has the ability to vitiate the dusya. Dusya means that which is get vitiated. Dhatu, mal and so are called as a dusya. It means that dosha has a ability to vitiate dusya or defend a dhatu mal if it is in abnormal status. But if it is in normal status, it is responsible for the coordinating, the integrating the all the bodily function within the normal status. So from today onward, so we will be discuss about every each and every aspect of the vata, pitta, and kapha. So right now we focus on the vata dosha. So in which we first about the how the vat dosha, the word vat dosha is derived. So the term vata is derived from the dhatu root va along with the pratyay tan. So it means that va. So the meaning of the va is the gati and gandhan. And gati has a three meanings. Gaman, that is a movement, Gnan, knowledge, and the prapti to gain. So these are the three meanings of the in context of the gati. But the gaman, the movement, is considered as an important characteristic feature of the va or meaning of the va. And the meaning of the gandhan, it is the enthusiasm or utsaha. So, what is the meaning of this derivation? So, Vata is responsible for the initiating the controlling the all bodily movements. Either it is a microscopic, either is a gross movement. For example, the gross movement, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, supination, pronation, walking, whatever these movements are called, they are called gross movement. And the microscopic movement, that's the cellular movement, the respiratory movements, the digestive system related movement, and the cardiovascular pumping pumping movement, and the impulse transmission through the nerve fiber, and the movement of the organelle within the cell. This all whatever the microscopic movements are there, they all are regulated, coordinated, integrated, controlled under the vath. And vath also responsible for the acquiring, carrying the knowledge from the different sentence. It means that what to get the knowledge, so the integration of the what is responsible. So there is one quotation in the Atyo Pradika regarding this knowledge, that is Indriyanam Manonato. Manonathassu Marut. It means that what is the meaning of the Indriya? Indriya means that it is the instrument for the Atma to get knowledge. So there are the different Indriyas are there. They are Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. So this Jnanendriya and Karmendriya is considered as an instrument for the getting the knowledge for the Atma, and the Mana is integrating, by integrating with the Indriya and Atma, it provides the knowledge to the Atma. And Vayu is considered as a Nath for the Man. It is Swami, or it is the master for the Man which control and stimulate the Man to do so. It means that ultimately, so Man, by coordinating with the Atma, by coordinating with the senses, it enables the Atma to get the knowledge. But to do so, there is a need of the some stimulation. So that stimulation has been provided by the Vat to the Man, and they enable the Man to provide the knowledge to the Atma. So it is about the meaning of the Vata derivation. So now we move on to the properties of the Vata. As we discussed in the previous lecture, that Vata is constituted by the Panchamahabhuta, but majorly Vayu and Akash Mahabhuta. So on the basis of that Vayu and Akash Mahabhuta dominancy, it possesses specific characteristic properties. So that properties are the Tatra Ruksh Lagu Sita Karo Shushma Chalo Anila. The ruksha means the dryness or non-unctuousness or devoid of the moisture. The property which is responsible for dryness or which is result in the absorption of the moisture is known as a ruksha. It subsides the cough and aggravate the bath. So it is the meaning of the ruksha. And lagu means the lightness. So the quality which is result in the very light weight or which is reduce the weight is known as a lagu. The substance possessing the lower molecular weight may have lagu guna. It easily movable, it acts as a kavhara and vatavardhak. It reduces the tissue weight, it reduces the mala and cleans the channels of the body. And Sheath means a coldness, the quality which reduce the body temperature or increase the coldness in the body is known as a Sheetha guna. It helps to check the flow of the water and fluids. Now, Khara. Khara means the roughness, the quality responsible for the roughness of the substance is known as the Khara. It will have Lekana property. Lekana means the scraping. So which reduce the dhatu levels, also reduce the quantity of the mala. So what is the difference between the dryness and roughness? Normally roughness is caused by the dryness. So this dryness increases the rate at which skin cells die off, leaving a thicker cells at the skin surface, which make it feel rough. So uh, it is the for it is the ongoing ongoing state of the dryness. So roughness is the forward state of the dryness. Now next is the Shushma property. What is the meaning of the Shushma? Shushma means the fineness or microscopic nature. The quality through which a substance, either the food or drug, can penetrate through the minutest channels of the body is known as a Shushma. Being minute, gets dissolved and spreads through entire body and opens up all the channels of channels of the transportation. So normally, it aggravates the vata and subside the cough. It reduces the tissue weights, also reduce the quantity of the excreta and undergoes the lagu pak. So vasodilation may be the result of this property. Now move on to the next property of guna, that is a chala. Chala means that mobile. Due to this property, Vat itself become movable and also drives the other dosha, that is the pith and kapha and dhatu and mal and so to do their function. Without its stimulation, other remain as a lame. We also discussed in the about it in previous lecture. That is pittam pangu, kapam pangu, pangu mal dhatuna, vayunetra niyante varshanti megavad. It means that without vayu stimulation, the pith and cough are considered as a dormant or quiescent. So they cannot do any activity without any stimulation coming from the vat. So that active that mobility or that activation function has been derived due to the chala property of the vata. Now next topic on the vata dosha is the functions of the vata. So on the basis of this guna, it possesses the specific functions. It execute the specific function in our body and mind. So what are they? सर्वहि चेष्टा वातेंसा prana pranina smruta. So what is responsible for the each and every movement which is ongoing our body. So it activate control all the bodily and mind movements and it is considered as a life force of the body. So without the vayu, the body is considered as a dead. So to being alive, there is a need of the Vayu activation. So next function as per the Charak Sutrasyan and 1849 stanza, Utsaha Uchwas Niswas Chesta Dhatu Gati Sama Samo Moksho Gati Matam Vayu Karma Avikaraja. The functions of the normal Vata dosha are reflected in the form of the enthusiasm, inspiration, expiration, movements, normal metabolic transformation of dhatus, and proper elimination of the excreta. So it does all normal functions of the vata. To the gross function about the vata are वायुस्तंत्र द्वारा प्राणोदान समान व्यान अपानात्मा प्रवर्तक चेष्टानम उच्चवाचानम नियंता प्रणेताचा मनसा सर्वेंद्रियाणाम मुद्योजक सर्वेंद्रियार्थाना नामापि ओढा सर्व शरीर धातु व्यूह कर संधान कर शरीरस्य प्रवर्तक वाचा प्रकृति स्पर्श शब्दयो श्रोत्र स्पर्शनो मूल असोत्साह योनि समीर्नो अग्नि दोष संशोषण स्थूल अनुस्रोतस बेता कर्ता गर्भाकृति नाम आयुष अनुवृत्तो प्रत्यय भूतो भवत्य अकुपिता. With the vayu is in normal status without any vitiated or abnormal status is responsible for the coordinating, regulating all the bodily organ function. So there are the five subside types of the vata are pran, udan, saman, vyan, apan. So they are classified on the basis of their specific location and specific function which has been executed by that specific vata. So next is Pravartak Chestanam Uchvachanam. So Vata is considered as initiator of all the psychosomatic activities. Niyanta Pranitacha Manasa, controller and regulator of the mind. Sarva Indriyanam Udyojak. सर्व इंद्रिय नामा भी वोडा coordinate all the sense faculties and help in the enjoyment of their object. सर्व शरीर धातु कर संधान कर शरीर से organize the all tissues of the body, bring together the different parts of the body. प्रवर्तक वाचा प्रकृति स्पर्श शब्दयो श्रोत्र स्पर्शन मूल promote the speech responsible for the touch and sound root cause of the auditory and tactile sensation. समीरनो अग्नि दोष संशोषणो it is stimulator of the digestic fire and it is also responsible for dosha sanshoshan. It means that dry of the excessive dosha. And next is it is Sheptabairmalana. Sheptabairmalana means that eliminate the excretory products and it also responsible for the stool anustotas beta. It means that create the gross and subtle channels and karta garbhakriti mold the shape of the embryo. Ayush anuvrityo pratyay bhuto bhavatyapa. It means if it is in normal status without any vitiation, it is the representative and symbol of the life. So it is about the major function which has been executed by the vata dosha. Now we discuss about the general location of the vata dosha. So what are the specific location in which the vayu is present? So normally it has been uh, it has been explained that vata dosha or all the three dosha are present throughout the body. That is vata pitta shleshana puna sarva charanam sarvani srotasya ayanbhutan. It means that three Vat Pitta of three dosh are present each and every aspect of the body. They spread throughout the body. So, but so though they are present in each and every aspect, there are some specific location are there which has been explained by the our ancient Ayurveda physician. So they are the as per Ashtanga Sutra 1.7 ते व्यापिनो अपि हृदयनाभो अधो मध्य उदो संश्रय. So in the Ashtanga Sutra Sthan, Vagbhat said that so they are spread throughout the body, but the specific location or general the specified location where they predominantly present, they are the so normally in the hruday or above the hruday, cuff is it is considered as a major location for the cuff, and in between the hruday and nabi, so pit is the major location for in between that location, and below the nabi, it means below the umbilicus, so vat is present predominantly. So it means that on the basis of this stanza, we can say that vata is present predominantly below the nabi region. It is considered as a major location of the vata, and uh, by elaborating this location uh, by the through the Ashtanga Sutras and 12.1. So the general location of the Vata on the basis of this stanza is Pakvase Kati Shakti Sotrati Sparshendriyam Sthanam Vatasya Tatrapi Pakvadanam Vishesha. Pakvase means the large intestine. Kati means that waist region or lumbar region. Shakti, that is the lower limb, and Shotra, that is the ear. The ear bone, Sotras, and the bone, Sparshendriya, that is the skin, Sthanam Vata Satrapi Pakvatam. Though these are the general location of the Vata, but predominantly it is present in the large intestine. That is a Pakwasai. So it has been explained by the in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutra 12.1 stanza. So, so what is the aim behind it? Though Vata is present throughout the body, why our ancient physician explained or they described the major or dominant location or space where these Vata, Pitta, Kapha are majorly present. So the aim behind it is the applying the specific treatment or therapy, that is the Shodhan, Shaman therapy to eradicate the vitiated dosha from the root cause to maintain the normal homeostasis within the body. So, so it has been explained that स्वे स्थाने अनिलादीनां सर्वेषां मूलमिष्यते तीत्यत्र जायते तेषां कृष्णनाथो यथा रूपम्. Means that Vata Pitta Kapha they spread and present throughout the entire body. Though even even then all the dosha have got some specific reason in concern with their development and occupancy. When they are visited at that particular place either by someone or that is called as a pacificatory in which we applying the some drug or diet regimen to pacify the that vitiated or that aggravated dosha, that is called the summon therapy or by samshodan. Samshodan is a biocleansing. So in Ayurveda there are the five karmas are explained there. They are called as shodhan, that is Vaman, Virechan, Basti, Shiro Virechan, Rakta Moksha. So Samshodan, so which type of the Samshodan will be apply on that particular visual location, locatory vitiated dosha that has been that has been uh, go detected or that has been applied by knowing the specific location of that particular dosha. For example, in the Samshodan, we apply the Basti for the Vata dosha and Virechan for the Pitta dosha and Vaman for the Kapha dosha. So the symptoms are subsided as a tree is perished when its root is cut. It means that if we have a knowledge about the what is the particular place or location of that Vata Pitta Kapha, so after knowing this specific location, you can able to choose this specific shodhana or summon chikitsa which has been act on that specific location. For example, basti which act on the Pakwasai region. And we all discussed that what is the major location of the Pakwasai. So if you have knowledge that Vayu's location is Pakwasai, so whatever the near region for the Shodhan, that is the through the Guda, the whatever drug we are applying to the Guda, so that can reach the Pakwasa easily, and that that clean the Vata or normalize the Vata. So if you have a knowledge about the what is the specific location of that dosha, so on their visualization by applying this specific samshodan and samanchika shiksha according to that location and according to that specific vitiation, you can eliminate that, you can eradicate that vitiated dosha from the root cause. So it is about the today's lecture. That is the introduction to the Vata dosha. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the we will discuss each and every type of the Vata dosha. So we also discusses that Vata is subdivided into five types. That is Pran, Udan, Saman, Vyan, Apan. So these are nothing but these all are the Vata dosha. But depending upon their specific location and depending upon their specific function, they are termed as a specific name. That is the Pran, Udan, Saman, Vyan, Apan. So up to this, we will just discuss it about the what is the Utpatti of the Vata dosha, what are the properties of the Vata dosha, what are the functions of the Vata dosha, and what are the specific and general location of the Vata dosha. So in next lecture, we will discuss about the types of the Vata dosha. Thank you.